Guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics. Free thinking, innovative. Don't go for second best, baby. Put your mind to the test. You know you've got to make him express how he feels. Tommy Nation Politics. Then you'll know the love is real. Express yourself. Hey. How's it going, guys? Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. What are y'all doing today? Let's see, what's today? I do believe it's Thursday. It's officially Thursday. What's been going on this week? Well, everyone's gearing up to what do we call those things like right in the middle, the midterms. Because they're called midterms, they're right in the middle. So guys, every 2 years or so, like in between the, you know the thing, presidential elections and the big time senators, senior senators and stuff like that, we have these midterms. Mostly for the House of Representatives, some of them for the Senate. Senate gets a 6-year term. So they're kind of funky little timing. Sometimes during the midterm, senators, one time in a midterm, Ted Cruz was going with Beto O'Rourke. That was some fun shit. Midterms, guys. They're coming up. So, there obviously is scheming on both sides to, for the Democrats to secure their power and position as having the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency. They have a supermajority on power. And they can pretty much do everything they want, which is what they're doing. They passed a COVID relief bill with all of the money to their donors, foreign aid, corporate tax loopholes, and $1,400 for us. They passed that through without any Republican votes, period. They had minimum wage in there too. Why didn't they just pass minimum wage? Since they can do whatever they want? Oh, I guess they don't want to pass minimum wage. Because they have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They really like it a lot. In fact, they love it so much that Chuck Schumer, pulled an imaginary freaking budget resolution. You guys get this. So that COVID bill went through budget reconciliation. So it didn't have to get a filibuster or the 60 votes or whatever like that. Only had to get 51. You can only do that apparently one time a fiscal year. But Chuck Schumer is a wizard. And out of his little magic corporatist elitist puppet hat, he was like, "Wow! Guess what, guys? I don't remember passing a budget resolution last year. So guys, maybe this is the budget reconciliation resolution 2020, not this year." So now they're gearing up for this other thing. It checks out in the Senate committee rules. And then the New York Times is like, "Oh my God, maybe he could reach in and pick up a third one. He's so smart, he knows those rules." Well, guys, if you make the rules, you know the rules. Because you made them. Chuck Schumer's the majority leader. He picks people on the committees of, the Senate rules. That's why Mitch McConnell still has a filibuster, by the way. And that's why these stupid rules really literally keep all of the democracy from us and the power of we the people. And they give it to the Senate committees to do whatever the fuck they want. Through filibusters and little inconvenient rules that aren't even in the Constitution. Just to be real with you guys. There's no filibuster in the Constitution. Just so you know. Just trying to tell you some truth. All these are little conventional wisdom and social norm rules they literally put in place for their own convenience. Also, the Patriot Act, extending it, by the way. Keep extending it so Mr. Biden doesn't have to ask Congress for a resolution to bomb Syria. He can just bomb Syria literally on his own. The reason why he bombed Syria, guys, and these presidents are bombing the Middle East constantly, is they don't have to go to Congress anymore after 9/11. Because we argued We were like in love with George W. Bush. We fucking held our hands and we invaded Iraq. And we ended up fucking giving all our fucking rights away. Habeas corpus, produce the body. Like literally the president can do whatever he wants if terrorists are involved. It's insane, guys. This is not a democracy.
You ever been to a caucus?
So, just let y'all know.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but
Bummer.
Now you
gotta really tell you that, guys. But even more, honestly, disappointing than the fact that this is not a democracy. And probably what's more irritating, too, is the fact that everybody walks around like this is a free country. I hear it a million times. This is a free country. We literally gave up habeas corpus. If the CIA says that you are a terrorist, you don't get a trial. You don't get due process. You literally get thrown in Guantanamo until they can torture you to tell them that you really are a terrorist. It's literally our government after 9/11. So this isn't a free country. And I just want to get that straight with you guys. I was going off on a tangent. Midterms, of course. But y'all should know all that. So anyway, Democrats want to keep their power. Wow, that was a long way around. But I just want to give y'all some backstory to the corruptness of these parties. Meanwhile, the Republicans. Now, Mitch McConnell wants his filibuster, and he wants it now. He also wants the corporate liability. And the Democrats are robbing all of us without the Republicans. Democrats and Republicans robbed us hand in hand with the CARES Act. It was an upward transfer of wealth not seen since the Gilded Age. They robbed us hand in hand. Fucking Mitch McConnell got his corporate fucking throwbacks, his golden parachutes. He got his little premiums and got all of his shit to his donors in the private insurance and banking, and he really got them going in Wall Street. That's the Republican backers right there. Wall Street, banks, a little military-industrial complex, a little private insurance, greasing up, bada bing, bada boom. Mitch McConnell was set, bro. He got everything he wanted except for the corporate liability. They just wouldn't give him that. He wants it ever since. He thought that Joe Biden was going to be such a team player because they were robbing us together, that he was going to, unity. He was going to throw Mitch a bone. But fucking Biden can't even decide if he wants to keep the filibuster or not. This guy is literally... He's not making some decisions, guys. He's not making some important decisions. Like whether you're the leader or not, Joe. It's clear that you're not. It's clear you're not the leader of the party. It's clear you're not even the fucking leader of your own fucking administration.
That's the secret.
Because literally, Biden administration is no more. It's Biden-Harris administration. They might as well just call it the Harris administration. When are you just going to push him down some stairs? Anyway, guys, so the Republicans, they want their seats back. So they don't have to fucking,
A Democratic president.
rely on the filibuster. They literally want to fucking obstruct shit now. And they can't obstruct anything. Because Joe Manchin is afraid. The Democrats have supermajority. And meanwhile, he can't cross his party, but he wants to look like he's conservative. So he fucking made a big fuss about the minimum wage. Because the deficit. Anyway, long story short, guys, Republicans want seats. Democrats want to keep their seats, keep in power. Does that have anything to do with you? No. They might use some of your issues to garner points so they can get their little think tanks to poll you after they just talked about your little issues. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being least and 10 being greatest, what did you think about Kamala Harris? Did she connect with you when she said this is a crisis on the border, kids in cages? Did you feel touched? Do you feel like she now relates to women, blacks, Indians, and people that breathe oxygen? And you're gonna reply back, talk about how you were touched or whatever. Meanwhile, they rob us. This is all a fun game, guys. It's time to end the game. Did y'all know that if we don't play anymore, the game's over? If we don't play anymore, the game's over. We're literally, our backs made with the sweat of our labor that we give to the 1%. We make their wealth, by the way. Our backs are the board game. of this capitalist monopoly exploitation. These two parties that divide us, if we don't play anymore, the game is over. These corporations that cater to us, advertise us, brand us, brainwash us, steal our data, figure out what we're buying, make us buy more. If we don't play anymore, the game's over. I saw a Gallup poll. More Democrats, more people relate to the Democratic Party in 2021 than they relate to the Republican Party in a decade. That's what it said. So more people identify as Democrats than as Republicans. It's time to really ask ourselves some hard questions. Why are we relating to two political parties that aren't even in the Constitution and usurping the power given to us by the Constitution? Why is the conventional wisdom and the social norms of wokeness, media-approved, consensual talking points ruling our lives? When are we going to stop listening to think tanks made from conglomerated international corporate interests, bought by billionaires to feed us polls, collect our data, help us to buy more soap? When 80% of the country lives paycheck to paycheck, no living wages. Minimum wage is not a living wage. Marijuana is a Schedule I drug. We're the only industrialized country without universal health care. And we still relate to two gang-banging, war-pimped, charlatan political parties. It's a sad story where think tanks and polls and branding can actually be a sufficient means to satiate the American people in their convenient endeavors. You know, that's the conventional wisdom and the social norms. That's the go along to get along, consensual, media-approved narrative. Yeah. More Americans identify as a political party that literally doesn't even give a shit about them. In fact, they would raise money off of their deaths and suffering if they could, or at least make them talking points for their next election coming up. So they would rather relate to the Democratic Party that lies and distorts reality. They find that more relatable than the other party that also doesn't give a shit about them, but goes out of their way to make sure that they know. Look at the Gallup poll.
How I got fooled, but I remember
I don't see 40% of the country that's innovative, creative, open-minded, free-thinking. I would rewrite that. I would say, instead of the Democrats are more relative than the Republican Party, more people relate to them, I would change that to more people in 2021 relate to a party that doesn't give a shit about them and will literally fundraise off of their deaths than they do another political party that doesn't give a shit about you also. However, they don't pretend that they won't fundraise off your deaths. They will tell you up front they will fundraise off your deaths. Call themselves Democrats. They call themselves Democrats. Meanwhile, the real Democrats are in power and oppressing us. And the Republicans. This is fucking weird, guys. I'm gonna keep on calling this shit out. It's not like fucking normal behavior to identify as two gangbanging, warmongering, thieving, looting, unconstitutional political parties. The fact that they think that the corporations own them is outrageous. The fact that you relate to them is outrageous. The fact that we're listening to their think tanks and their polls as reality and the news is outrageous. This whole entire reality, guys, get out of it. It's not real. It's scary because people think it is. It's scary because people literally give a shit what the Gallup poll says about two parties that literally rob us transparently. And in a newspaper that is owned by a billionaire who only bought it so he could fucking funnel his taxes tax-free to the Cayman Islands. Literally, we're listening and watching the Gallup poll and wondering if these two parties are more relatable. You're like rabbits fucking wondering if the alligator's smiling because he likes you. You're like a fucking old, flaccid, has-been, middle-age crisis, know-nothing normie who's at a strip club and thinks the dancer likes him. You're a schmuck. You're a cuck. You gotta wake up. Wake up, guys. It's not about money. It's about
Ladies and gentlemen,
sending a message.
I must attest.
Everything burns. I thought that was going to be relevant to this. It didn't, but that's one of my favorite quotes from the Joker. By the way, Joker was a good guy in most of his movies. Batman, you're a capitalist, exploitator, falling asleep in boardrooms, meetings. Where's Black Lives Matter, Bruce? Let's fucking clean up this world, guys. Start with us.
Snyder cut.
Let's be the change.